This is Grant with Recraft Creative Reuse Center in Greenville, South Carolina, making a challenge video for the Puppe-RE Loose Parts DIY Art Box. Now, Loose Parts Play is all about open-ended exploration. This box does not come with any directions. So whether you've bought this through our online web shop or you've been given it as a gift, you might have opened it up after taking this very difficult, pernicious box top off. You might have opened it up and found this really surprising, cool variety of stuff in there and said, but what am I supposed to do with it, right? So we're making this video to offer you a few challenges of what we think you can make with it based on when we put this stuff together. All of our loose parts boxes are kind of loosely themed. This one's around puppets. And so we included the materials to get you started with building 5 different kinds of puppets plus some stages and sets. So it's all in this box, believe it or not. And I'm going to walk you through, get you started at least, on how to do some of those. Everything in this box was diverted from landfill. That means not that we went rummaging through a dumpster to get it. It means that people who care about sustainability and care about our community decided to give it to us rather than throwing it away. Throwing things away is a choice. And always think about how you can repurpose, reuse, and creatively reuse materials even at home. So let's get started. First of all, every single one of these boxes is going to include this bag. This bag includes, among other things, a roll of tape. We always include this. You've got to have something to stick stuff together with. It also comes off pretty easily, parents. Yeah, that Greenville postcard. We love where we are. And you can make it here, this vinyl sticker from our Scrap Rabbit. So there's also some stickers in here and some sticks. We're going to get to those in a minute. So I told you you could build 5 different kinds of puppets with what's inside this box, and you absolutely can. The 5 kind of puppets that we imagine, there are lots of different kinds of puppets in the world, and if you are really interested in puppetry, there are certainly more professional and more in-depth videos. This is really just to get you started. But with this stuff, you have everything you need to make a finger puppet, a sock puppet, or a bag puppet if you don't have a stray sock at home. We did not include an adult dirty sock. A marionette, a stick puppet, and a bobblehead. So where would you like to get started? Let's start with a finger puppet. The one thing, parents, that you might want to be aware of for like really young kids is there are some pins in here. These pins have sharp pointy things. We're going to use these later for eyes. These are the only things in the entire box that you should not use for your finger puppets. Anything else is fair game. One of my very favorite things to do with finger puppets is take some yarn, wrap it around a few fingers here. All right. Now we've got a loop of yarn. Some people tie a knot at one end. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to cut it at one end. All of a sudden, I'm starting to see maybe some puppet hair. What do you think? So I'm going to use my tape to tape this on. And there we go. I mean, that's pretty silly, right? But gets the idea across. Certainly you could use a pen or a marker to draw on there. Finger puppets are really fun. By the way, this box works out to be a really good stage, especially this white bottom part because it's nice and plain. So you can like stick your fingers back there, right? Okay, so that's finger puppet. The soccer bag puppet. This bag, which says, repurpose me, recycle me. It is perfect for that. You can stick your hand in here. And I mean, you could also do this with a sock, but same principle, right? Da 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 da, right? So you've got your sock or your bag puppet. This bag is what these pins are made for. So you can take the pins, stick them through. Obviously, you put the backing on the other side. And the other thing these pins are made for, some of them have some writing on them. Again, all of this stuff was diverted from landfill. So sometimes you might see like the name of something on it. Like, what does that mean? we didn't put it on there. It's just that it was perfectly reusable as a pen, even though it's not really a good pen for whoever was originally making it. So there are all these sticker dots. You got some black ones and some orange ones. The idea here is to make some eyes. And I'm going to make 2 orange eyes here. You can obviously embellish your sock puppet in lots of other ways. And you can use these pens kind of like a Mr. Potato Head, right? So you could build out like a whole mouthpiece or nose, maybe some whiskers, things like that, using these pens. Each box should have, I don't know, 5 or 6 pens in them, so plenty to get you started. But there are the eyes, pretty simply. Oh, he needs a mouth, doesn't he? Oh, how about that? All right, so there's your sock puppet. Marionette is one of the most complicated but really, really fun and rewarding puppets you can make. What you want to do is take like an arm's length of yarn. You might not actually end up needing all this. Okay. Your box has one of 2 things. There's a variety in these boxes. They are literally loose parts from our crazy inventory. Some of the boxes have this silver shiny robotic thing. Some of the boxes have these things called elophones. And if you have an elephone and you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's what that is. It looks like an elephant's trunk. This is probably more practical for making a marionette, but you could still make a marionette handle using your elephone. Plus, if you did receive an elephone, this is what it's actually made for. It's made for holding up just like a telephone. You can practice your puppet lines into one side and you can hear yourself really clearly, even if your brother or sister or parents are making a racket in the other room. That's what the elophone's for. I'm going to use this to make my marionette. A marionette is a French word because this kind of puppet was first developed in France. And basically, not included, you can make a guy with arms and legs or an animal, whatever, dance using a handle, yarn, and your at-home puppet. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make this super quick. This is just the demo, but I'm going to tie this string around one of his hands. A nice double knot would do it. Parents, knots are really, really tricky. So if you're doing this, like the knots is definitely something you should expect to have to help with. Knots are super tricky, even for adults. Okay, now, this guy has lots of holes in it. So I'm going to use the hole at the very end over here, same piece of yarn, and then I'm going to thread it through the other hole. All right, and now I'm going to tie the other end to this puppet's arm. Whew. Lightning speed. You can certainly watch this video on 2x, but I'm just trying to show you, get the idea. You can make this a lot better if you had more time. All of a sudden, this puppet, now obviously it leans, all right, so don't worry about that. But using this handle here, you can control whether he raises his right arm, left arm. You can get really intricate with this. And what's fun about this grid here, if you watch a movie like The Sound of Music, is those marionettes also have strings on their legs. So you can actually get them to dance, moving their arms and legs independently. So marionettes can be like tons and tons and tons of fun. All right, so that's the marionette. Stick puppet. This, you may want to use an old awkward family photo like this. This is me and my wife right here. Isn't she beautiful? All right, so your bag, in fact, in the white bag, there are some sticks, some popsicle sticks and stirrers and things like that. All you're gonna do, real easy, you're gonna turn the photos over. I like to cut it out with a little bit of outline around the edge. Don't get too close to the pictures, okay? Right? Okay? You're gonna lay your sticks. Popsicle sticks work really well. Coffee stirrers work really well. Skewers also work. And then you're gonna take some tape. And I like to do a crisscross on the back. You don't have to. All right. Even one piece of tape is probably enough for this Just depends how sturdy you want your puppet to be. And voila! Right? So there we go. We got our stick puppets. Pretty awesome. There's one other crazy gizmo in this box that you're like, what is this thing for? This right here is perfect for making a bobblehead. I cannot tell you what it originally was. I have no idea. I really don't have any idea. But what you want to do is this string here, or I'm sorry, the spring, you want to stretch it way out. It shouldn't break. You might want to be careful. You might want to ask your parents to do this, but it's pretty sturdy. It shouldn't break on you. Okay? Stretch it out as far as you can. And now you can, again, tape a picture to the top of your bobblehead. I think I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take my lovely wife and turn her into a bobblehead. How about that? Pretty neat. So that's a lot of fun. So 5 different kinds of puppets, right? Finger puppets, sock puppets, marionettes, stick puppets, and even a bobblehead. All from this one box. But wait, there's more. These 3 rolls are cut down exactly so that you can cover the top of your box. The inside has a nice white to it. But if you wanted to make like a stage, for example, for your puppets, and even a backdrop, you could cover it with one of these linings. This one's kind of a cool marble, looks like wood maybe, right? So that looks pretty fancy. Got this one that definitely looks like leaves and trees and stuff. It's camouflage. Pretty cool. These are films that came from a local industrial label maker, actually. And this one is copper. It is super shiny. Look at that. It's actually real copper. If you choose not to use these as puppet stages, this also works really well as Christmas wrapping paper, right? The holidays are coming up. So you can definitely reuse the stuff in this box. This box is made to supplement things from your own home and supplement your creativity. So anything else that you find that might be useful for making puppets, go to it. But my challenge to you, again, is to make at least 3 kinds of puppets and a story for them to interact. Thanks a lot.